Hello, this is CSC Movie Recaps. Today, we'll examine the 2017 Indian movie Hindi Medium. In the first scene of the film, a young girl named Meeta enters a tailor shop with her mother to place an order for a dress. She wants it made specifically for her. The clothing is a little too exposing for them, who both dislike it. Fortunately, Raj, the tailor's son, is there and promises to make her the exact outfit she wants. His father doesn't have much expertise in clothing. Not to add that Raj finds her quite attractive. Every day, he follows her around. After some time, Raj's assistant Chotu tries to draw women into his shop by trying to sell them some goods on the street. He succeeds in catching the eye of two women, but he is unable to fulfill their desires. Raj enters later and works his magic on the women. Raj receives a call and must leave right away, preventing him from finishing the deal. At a playground where their daughter Pia is being overly protected by Meeta, Raj runs across his wife. When they get in the car to go, they leave their kid with her nanny. In order to find the best school for their daughter, they explore a few lovely private schools. Raj does not place the same value on selecting the correct school as Meeta does. Meeta determines which school is the best, but there is a problem. Only kids who live within a 3 kilometers radius of that particular school are admitted. Raj disagrees when Meeta advises him to buy a house close to that part of the city. She eventually persuades him to relocate to a home near the Delhi grammar school. In an effort to introduce them to their new wealthy neighbors, Meeta organizes a party, but things don't go as she had hoped. Meeta will feel a little embarrassed for Raj because of how oddly people will perceive his dance abilities. Along with their kid Ayan, Kabir and his wife Atai also ruin the party. Considering the expressions on their faces, Kabir is most likely Meeta's former lover. Because Pia doesn't speak English, the other children won't play with her on the playground the following day. It seems more challenging to enter the Delhi grammar than Meeta and Raj anticipated. Just to get the application papers, Raj must wait in a long line of people. Fortunately, Meeta runs across Kabir, who directs her to the guidance counselor at the school. They can get assistance from her. She offers to assist them, but the parents must first pass various examinations before Pia can enroll in school. She hands them some forms to complete, but the parents make mistakes since they are unable to adequately explain the qualities of their own daughter. The counselor refers them to a writer, who completes the assignment on their behalf. He uses phrases to describe Pia that Raj and Meeta find challenging to comprehend. They must next go through a series of interviews with the school. They succeed because the counselor gave them advice on what to say. Despite their best efforts, Pia's parents' limited knowledge prevents her from being accepted by the school. The final choice is made by the school. Raj tries to correct the imbalance but knows that Lodo, the school's female principal, won't be swayed by bribery. Additionally, his purportedly strong allies are unable to offer him any assistance. To make matters worse, Chotu informs Raj and Meeta that his daughter has been accepted into Prakriti, a different division of the private school system, when he visits Raj and Meeta. Meeta's depressive state worsens. The following day, Raj visits the counselor again and inquires as to how that transpired. Pia was not accepted into the private school, but the daughter of his co-worker was. The counselor says that Chotu's daughter was accepted through a lottery as a different procedure. But only names of underprivileged kids may be entered into that lottery. The guidance counselor claims that Delhi Grammar also has a lottery of this nature. She also advises Raj to use the same application and enter Pia's name in the lottery if he can demonstrate that they are a low-income family. However, Raj first needs to obtain some fictitious documents concerning his wealth. The government services are unable to provide Raj with necessary papers, but a random tea vendor assures Raj that he can. He asserts that he has the necessary contacts to smuggle his daughter's name into the hands of those who can enter her name into the lottery. Raj dashes home to offer Meeta the good news and some encouragement. When students see the school's principal on television, it dampens their mood. According to a reporter, there are tales of wealthy people claiming to be poor in order to enter their children in the lottery and, consequently, into the school. According to the principal, nothing like that is actually happening. Anyone who tries to do something similar will very likely wind up in jail. She states that teachers would go visit the poor children's parents in their houses to verify whether or not each family truly lives in poverty or is feigning poverty. Raj talks with his associate and discusses his concerns on the principal's remarks. However, the man reassures him that nothing horrible will occur. For the past 7 years, he has performed this procedure without a hitch. Raj and Meeta deceive everyone by claiming they are on a vacation in Europe. However, they actually live in a disadvantaged neighborhood and wear bad clothes. Pia will therefore appear to be very impoverished if someone wishes to visit their home after Pia's application has been reviewed. The male instructor who notified the media about the allegedly bogus applications of wealthy people is called by Lodor into her office. The concept gives him control over the applications because he has his suspicions. He will visit the applicants to ascertain whether they are truly in need or are just pretending to be. The tiny rental house makes Raj and Meeta complain to one another. Additionally, mice are the house's special guests. Meeta shares some photos of them in front of the Eiffel Tower the following morning. Of course, a professional photographer helped them stage those photos by having them stand in front of a green screen. Raj is currently confined to the restroom due to a lack of water to wash himself. Fortunately, a kind neighbor is prepared to give them 2 buckets of water. Let's shorten this neighbor's name to Shai. They get along well and invite him and his family over. It appears that these neighbors have also submitted an application for their own son's admission to Delhi Grammar. Someone knocks on their door while their water rescuer tells them how to attract and kill mosquitoes. The teacher in charge of the application's control is visible when they open up. While the teacher inspects the home, a large crowd of neighbors congregates nearby. Raj's hands are gentle, and he checks them. He contrasts them with another man's hands, and they are by no means comparable. As the teacher makes her way through the house, she spots Pia eating pizza in a room. That makes no sense to him right away. He also notices some ice-cold water bottles. "What's going on there?" he inquires. "Are they lying to us?" Raj and Meeta struggle to speak, but Shai once more saves them. He claims that because they have recently become poor, these folks do not yet know how to live within their means. They used to be wealthy but suddenly fell on hard times. He'll show them what it's like to live in poverty. Raj and Meeta seize on it and continue the narrative. The instructor leaves after appearing persuaded. When Meeta inquires about his choice, the teacher hasn't made a decision yet. Raj and Meeta must cope with poverty's ugly face the following day. To get water into her bucket, Meeta must compete with the other ladies. Shai's wife Tulsi will have to teach her to stand up for herself while also knowing when to keep quiet. In order to make some money at the same time, Shai hires Raj to work beside him in a factory that manufactures and packages snacks. Raj, however, is unable to complete the task and disables the equipment. He also requires too many breaks, something the boss dislikes. Raj didn't do well at all, therefore they didn't pay him anything. Raj has received half of Shai's salary, and Meeta has received half of Tulsi's food supplies. Those folks are familiar with what it's like to go to bed hungry. The instructor informs Raj, Meeta, Shai, and Tusli that their children have been selected for Delhi Grammar's lottery. They are all thrilled until the teacher informs them that there is still a fee. They are nevertheless required to provide a specific sum of money for their kids' extracurricular activities at school. They must give him a final response right then and there, the teacher instructs. Raj and Meeta feel more at ease because they have so much money available, but Shai and Tusli are in a panic. Raj responds that they will send their kids to Delhi Grammar when the teacher presses for an explanation. He will come up with cash. Raj uses his card to visit the ATM that evening and withdraws some cash. Raj tells a fib to Shai after he catches him in the act. He admits that he is robbing the ATM of its contents. He tries to do it, but Shai stops him and takes him away. Shai gets struck by a car as soon as they get to the road. Although Raj wants to call the police, Shai and the driver come up with a workaround. In return for Shai's silence, the driver gives him some cash. Shai admits to Raj that he deliberately leaped in front of the car to get hit and make some cash, when Raj takes him to the hospital. Shai also offers Raj the money for his daughter. It's time for Delhi Grammar to hold its lottery so that 10 children can be chosen to begin their academic careers. Pia has good fortune, but Shai's son does not. Despite their sadness, Shai and Tulsi want to celebrate Pia's acceptance. Deep down, Raj and Meeta begin to feel bad. Raj and Meeta depart the impoverished area and head back to their residence close to the Delhi grammar. For what transpired to Shai's family, they are unable to forgive themselves. Raj recalls that Shai ran out in front of a moving vehicle to save his family. They make the choice to make a sizable financial contribution in support of a public school. Not just any school, though. The neighborhood school where Shai's son studies. Shai pays the principal a visit to express his gratitude for his efforts. The headmaster admits he didn't do anything. No facility enhancement would have been possible if it weren't for the benefactors. Shai requests the contributors' addresses so she can go and thank them in person. Raj receives a visit from Shai, but because of his kind nature, he initially fails to see the link. For his son, Shai claims he will act in a fair and moral manner. When he arrives at the school to meet with the principal, Lodar, Pia recognizes him and calls him uncle. Shai is moved, and he is unable to carry out his intended mission. But Raj can no longer stand himself. In her office, he encounters Principal Lodar, and he tells her the truth. Sadly, Lodar seems unwilling to take any action to improve the issue. What has occurred, has occurred. She just instructs him to attend the performance in the school theatre with the other parents. The instructor who reviewed and approved their application is now visited by Raj. The theatre is hosting a performance. The cast of the show is not limited to students from Delhi Grammar. Public school students are skillfully included into the performance to deliver their own message and showcase their own talents. Raj invites himself to the stage after the performance and delivers a moving statement about the differences between what counts in life and what others think are significant. Instead of discussing what genuine compassion appears to be, he talks about immoral objectives. All people ought to have education. Raj and Meeta are finally ready to send their daughter to public school.